YouTube user Zeke the Antique Freak here, working on a twin-cylinder 17 horsepower Kawasaki engine and a John Deere LX277 garden tractor. It started surging the other day, and so it was time to clean out the carburetor. About 1,100 hours on the unit, and I had it depart a number of years ago and cleaned it once before. This stuff, whatever it is, you can see that was in the float bowl, and I guess it was plugging a small primary jet. And it felt like perhaps you could liken it to earwax or unprocessed honey. At the time it's dried out, now it's just little brown crisps. Don't know where it came from. I'm using premium fuel, unleaded. Sorry, not unleaded. Ethanol free. And then that part should be good, and every now and then it gets a taste of fuel injection cleaner to keep everything clean. And it was clean inside except for this stuff laying in the bottom of the float bowl, which was blocking a little orifice and making it surge and hunt for RPM at idle. So anyway, to remove one of these little critters, there's a brace across here for the air cleaner. The air cleaner comes off with these two bolts. I've put them bolts back onto the back on just to test it, and I'll take them off, put the air cleaner back on, and on the brace there is two Phillips screws at the bottom. These are 10 millimeter. And anyway, it comes off not bad. It takes a little bit of fiddling. Take the fuel line off. Might as well get this out of the vent hose out of the way. This comes off. There's a ground wire, and that also holds the other end of that top vent hose. These are 30 Torx. That gets that out of the way. Now there's a gasket behind there. Leave that with the manifold. Bring the carburetor forward. And with the Phillips screwdriver, we'll take these off. The black cable goes to the top, and the one marked white goes to the bottom. So once that's off, then you can pull the carburetor off and then wiggle these rods out. This one has a spring on it. It's just hooked through the hole, and it goes along parallel with the shaft. This one has its own spring built in. And it just takes some little twisting and contortioning of the springs and whatever to get that off. And once it's out, you're ready to give it a good cleaning. So while I had it apart, I give the whole thing a good bath, and I got all the filth and dirt off the block. Everything's clean like the day she come out of the factory, and it's working now. I'd like to say I don't know where that material came from. I put another little filter in just for poops and giggles, and that should catch anything that goes past the main filter back there. So yeah, it's working well now. Got the stuff out of the jets. I used a carburetor cleaner, had it basically apart. I took this little jet out here and sprayed that in there, made sure the holes in it were good. There is a mixture needle here. I haven't had to change that because there wasn't anything wrong with the mixture, so that's been left alone. So putting it back together, I'll just take these nuts back off here that was tighten the carburetor on for testing, put the air cleaner back on. The cover, first you take 3 bolts out of here, 10 millimeter. This thing is loose. Take the cap off the top, and there's 4 bolts on the side, also 10 millimeter. You don't have to take them out, you just back them off, and then the cover slides right off. So it's really not bad to work on, and it appears to have been successful this time around. Zeke the Antique Freak, over and out.